So Algorand just recently achieved a major milestone in my opinion, and this is just purely my perspective, but I am not a financial advisor, but there's some details that I think we have to take a look at when it comes to this. Algorand just recently reached 60 million blocks, in which case this was less than 1 week after hitting 3.5 billion transactions, another major milestone that Algorand did achieve, and I even made a video on that. But even besides that point, this is in addition to that, right? Again, reaching 60 million blocks on top of already surpassing 3.5 billion transactions just less than 1 week ago. But furthermore, another important caveat that we have to take a look at is how this was all done allegedly with zero downtime, and it's actually even with no downtime ever since the launch in 2019. So that kind of equates to a new block every 2.8 seconds, and I think that's really impressive. They even say in this post that the chain keeps running. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, ever since 2019, zero downtime, pretty impressive. Now, is it as impressive as VeChain's zero network outages ever since 2018? Not really. I mean, almost, right? But I think that's pretty awesome. And of course, I'm talking about the VeChain Thor blockchain right there. And of course, VeChain often compared to Algorand. But hey, you know what? People like to say VeChain's very reliable. Well, I think so is Algorand. Maybe VeChain has had a longer track record of being reliable, but Algorand doesn't really lose out by that much, just like a year basically. Now, of course, people are going to complain and say, well, ALGO, Algorand's native token, it's only recovered like what, around 1% in the past 24 hours? Well, okay, it's not doing as good as some other projects out there, especially once we're seeing, as of right now, a lot of these projects kind of recovering a little bit because the market just did recover a little bit overall. However, still, I think some people are ignoring that it actually had almost a 40% recovery in the past 30 days. So of course there needs to be a little bit of a cool off period. It's not like it just could randomly keep doing that if the market sentiment doesn't change in any significant way. And I think what I find really surprising is that Algorand had that recovery in the past 30 days, really primarily not because of the sentiment really changing when it comes to the space overall. It's primarily because of what it, I think, was highlighted for in terms of its fundamentals. What do I mean by that? Algorand was mentioned quite a lot in Google's quantum paper, which kind of highlighted, I think, of course, its fundamentals, right? And in which case that caused a pretty good recovery when it comes to Algorand, because a lot of people noted Algorand for its security. But I think that right there was a crowning achievement, a crowning moment, I would say, where it was actually really recognized when it comes to Algorand. So of course, naturally that caused Algorand to have that pretty decent recovery. But now having that slight cool off period, I mean, it just kind of makes sense in my opinion. It's not like we're in an altcoin season. It's not like the sentiment has returned back to certain points in 2024, 2025. It hasn't yet, but despite all that though, seeing around a 40% recovery in the past 30 days, it's pretty commendable. I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, personally for me, I wasn't even complaining about Algorand before it had that slight recovery. I was still dollar cost averaging anyways. So seeing this right here, I think it's again, just a pretty cool thing. And seeing the milestones that they've achieved lately, I think it's sometimes a testament to Algorand in of itself. Now, of course, people like to tell me that there's so many options for layer one blockchains. Why even care about Algorand? Well, it's not like I think Algorand is going to become the number one out there. I highly doubt that. Like, I don't think it can ever become more popular than like Ethereum, for instance, but it doesn't need to. I think it's all about having options sometimes within this space. Each developer, a certain individual, they're going to have their own preferences. It's not like it's just only one thing and then one thing only. It's like, okay, we have a lot of car brands out there. We have a lot of shirt brands. We have a lot of brands for jeans, for shoes. It's not like it's only just one. Maybe one is very popular, but it doesn't mean there's only one. There's many options. And I think people just naturally in real life like options. So when I take a look at Algorand, people like to say, well, why not just choose like Solana or Ethereum? I guess a developer could, but at least there's the option here. This is my perspective, right? At least there's another option, there's variety, and sometimes people do like that. And again, not every single blockchain out there is going to be specialized for a specific thing. It's like, for instance, some people out there, some developers out there, maybe they want to focus on AI. Maybe a certain blockchain is more good for AI when compared to the other. Maybe the other one is more kind of prepared for, let's say in the case of gaming, right? I mean, there's a bunch of things that go into this, in which case some blockchains are more optimized for certain tasks over the other. But what I like about Algorand is that Algorand does have an aspect of ISO 20022, which I think is really awesome and really cool and really interesting. Not something that people usually kind of think about when they think about Algorand. So maybe when it comes to developers out there that care about the global trade and finance space, maybe something like this might be considered, who knows. Also, Algorand has allegedly pretty efficient, I think, energy consumption, in which case that could actually kind of matter. Now, this is actually another idea that I have. It's like, for instance, what uses a lot of energy, right? It's the sector of AI. We always hear about, oh, wow, AI uses a lot of energy. So if a developer who's focused on AI, they see something like Algorand, which inherently, allegedly, doesn't use that much energy to begin with, wouldn't that be a pretty cool thing? I mean, who knows, right? But at the same time, if I'm prioritizing maybe energy savings or being more efficient, maybe if I was a developer caring about AI, I would hypothetically maybe consider Algorand. Doesn't mean I would automatically choose it, but at least there's that, I guess, probability, maybe, hypothetically speaking. But nonetheless, though, when it comes to Algorand, people like to tell me as well that this is not something that people care about. Well, if it's not something people care about, why is it ranked 54th in the world in terms of market cap within the space? And also, furthermore, why is the market cap around $1 billion? Clearly, a lot of people still kind of care about it to a certain extent. Maybe it's not top 10, not top 20, not top 30 or 40, but at least it's top 55, right? I mean, currently it's ranked 54th in the world. Not that bad, I think, personally. And it's still listed in some pretty good places as well. So it's not like some other projects out there that aren't really listed anymore. Again, Algorand still has pretty good listings. And I think that kind of matters, especially if the market turns around in a pretty good way. Because even though this is purely hypothetical, I mean, ease of access is sometimes prioritized when the market is doing pretty good, because some other projects out there, it's really hard to know where to kind of find it, right? Maybe through this random thing or whatever. It's like, it just makes it a little bit difficult if the market sentiment were to change. It's like, for instance, in the case of Shiba Inu, why was it so popular? And why did it do its thing back in 2021? And why is it still even popular right now? It's because simply it's listed in a lot of places, in my opinion, as one of the major reasons why. Now, of course, the community, the cool factor, and also kind of the quote-unquote somewhat, relatively speaking, it being around pretty early on, that of course had a major factor too, but being listed in a bunch of good places and popular places at that, I think greatly contributed to what it did, historically speaking, and even as of right now. So when it comes to Algorand, I see it no different. If something is really difficult to access, then it's just pretty difficult for it to do anything, I think, if the market hypothetically picks up. Not to say that it can't be done. It's been done many times before, but it's just not as convenient. So I do like Algorand's listings, but even besides that point, as of right now, what I'm doing is still waiting. You know, I treat this like a long-term thing. It's not like, oh, wow, I'll look at this for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and then who cares? No, that's not what I'm doing here. What I'm personally doing is treating it like maybe I'd have to wait, hypothetically, who knows, maybe years. I may not have to, but I'm prepared to do so. It is what it is. What can I do about it? It's just the nature of this space. I can't control this in any way. I'm just one person. I mean, if I just want to kind of give some scale as to what I mean by this, it's like, as of right now within this space, there's allegedly over 600 million owners. I'm just one person. Like, what can I do? If I leave, the space doesn't care. If I'm still in this space, the space also doesn't really care either. So at the same time, either I'm in this or not, the roller coaster happens with or without me. So I like to be part of the roller coaster. That's my perspective. In case, doesn't mean anything could or would happen, but I'm just saying. It's like, for instance, 10 years ago, Bitcoin did its thing. It did without me because I didn't believe in it back then. Had I believed in it, would it still have done its thing? Probably. You know, it doesn't matter if I was in it or not. I'm just one person. So that's my perspective. I mean, I can't go back in time though. However, what I can do is focus on the right now. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging once a month, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. I greatly appreciate it.